Good morning everyone and welcome to the Meet Your Future campaign. My name is Sophie and I am part of the Education Work and Skills team here at Greater Manchester Combined Authority, and I'm also joined by my colleague Liz, who is behind the scenes currently as my co-host doing all of the tech. So for those that have joined us before, you might be aware that the Meet Your Future campaign was launched in April 2019 by Andy Burnham, Mayor of Greater Manchester, and that was to enable more young people like you to meet and connect with different businesses and employers to explore lots of different roles and careers. This week is National Apprenticeship Week, and our theme for National Apprenticeship Week is Growth in Greater Manchester. And what does this mean? Well, throughout the week in our Meet Your Future sessions, we'll be exploring the industries and the roles and the careers that are the fastest growing in Greater Manchester and what opportunities that offer for you are the workforce of our future. You'll be able to learn more about apprenticeships, what an apprenticeship is and how an apprenticeship might be an option for you after you leave school or college to develop the skills and knowledge for your future career. In this session, you will hear from Amy and Amy, and they're coming from AECOM today to talk to you about engineering and consultancy apprenticeships. So please make sure you use this question box, and any questions or thoughts that you might have will come through to us, and we'll make sure that we go through those questions at the end. And hopefully this session will inform you, inspire you, and highlight what can hopefully be an optimistic future for you in Greater Manchester. If you would like to use the captions or subtitles during the event, you can select the captions subtitles on in your video controls. And I'm now going to hand over to Amy, and thank you. Over to you, Amy.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. So, like we've just been said, we're Amy and we're from AECOM. So this is just going to be very much a whistle-stop tour of AECOM as a company, and sort of how we've got to where we are, and a bit about apprenticeships and things like that, just to give you a bit of information. So if we start with a slide about AECOM in terms of the numbers. So basically, AECOM is a multinational infrastructure consulting firm with 5 main markets. So those are environment, water, building and planning, transportation, and programme management. So there's quite a few numbers on this slide, but essentially what we're trying to get across is that this company is very big. We've got over 50,000 people now working for us across 7 continents. So we've got credentials both in terms of reputation as a consultancy, but also as a very much admired and ethical company as well, as you'll see from the text on the bottom there. One thing also to highlight is that we have a big ED&I network. So, for example, this month's LGBT plus month, so we're doing a lot of events for that. And one of our big draws, or the big draws that I like about AECOM, is we have a big social value aspect to it. So that's very much focused on collaborating and connecting with local communities and making sure that the projects that we work on with them are working out in the best way for both them and us.
Well, thank you very much. So I'm going to briefly talk about early careers here at AECOM. So firstly, when you join as a graduate or an apprentice, you enrol on the advanced programme. Now, this is a 2-year development programme which equips you with the knowledge and skills to succeed in your role. For example, you are taught the life cycle of a project, and you also attend in-person events, which allows you to meet other graduates and apprentices from across the country. Next slide, please. So here we've outlined the apprenticeship programme here at AECOM, but please refer back to our brochure and our website as well for more details. But some of the key parts here is that you receive a salary whilst also gaining a qualification. You also receive a benefits package, and you also participate in an outward bound week, which from feedback is a great trip, and you get to meet other apprentices, and you take part in team building events as well. Next slide, please. So this is a quote from one of our apprentices in the transport planning team. And as you can see here, he's highlighted that you can gain a range of experience and develop a variety of technical skills whilst being in the transport planning team. So this is my career path at the moment. I joined AECOM back in June 2019 as a graduate consultant. I think the main takeaway from this slide is that I had previously worked for AECOM between my second and third year at university, where I contacted AECOM to ask for a summer placement. So I actually worked for the transport planning team over the summer, and this was a brilliant opportunity to gain an understanding whether this was a career I wanted to pursue, and also meant that when I did apply later on, I actually knew some of the team members already as well. So yeah, any opportunities you get, definitely reach out and get a placement where you can. Thank you very much. What is a transport planning consultant? So basically, you help clients from both the public and private sectors to develop, create and improve transport infrastructure. So what I've done here is I've outlined our the five teams that make up transport planning in Manchester. And as you can see here, you can develop a wide range of skills, which can be from report writing, bid writing, technical report writing. You can gather evidence from different data sources. You can partake in social research, and then also use statistical and analytical computer software, which is to name a few of the opportunities you get. And sorry, one more thing as well there. Another great experience has been that you can actually internally rotate between these different teams when you join the transport planning team. So you can develop as many or as few skills there and become specialised in lots of different elements. So yeah.
So yeah, back to me now. So a bit about me. So I'm a graduate air quality consultant, and as you'll see on that slide, have quite a big academic background. So I decided after about 10 years in academia that I wanted to use that knowledge I'd got, because you'll see it was in atmospheric chemistry, which encompasses air quality. So I wanted to use that knowledge I'd got in sort of real life applications and use that in an industrial role, really. So yes, I started working at AECOM about a year ago. And the work I've done so far, as you can see there, is quite varied. So I've worked on some industrial projects, some road schemes, some clean air zones, and then some monitoring and reporting. So very much like what Amy said, in AECOM as a whole, in the different teams, you can, as you work there for longer, you sort of realise which bits of that job you prefer. So it may well be that you prefer the reporting side of it and the Excel spreadsheet side of it, so looking at the data, or it may well be that you like the getting out and about bit, and you might like certain projects more than others. So it's very much tailored to what you enjoy as you progress through your role in AECOM. Next slide, please. So yeah, just a bit of an overview about some of the projects that we work on at AECOM. So this automatic urban and rural network called AURN, which will be easier to say, it's essentially the UK's largest network for monitoring air pollution. And we use these instruments to basically track if we're meeting our legal limits. So we've got legal limits on pollution, and if we don't meet them, we get charged and all sorts of different things. So we need to make sure that we're meeting those targets. So there's 171 sites across the UK, and they measure all these pollutants that I've listed there. So in terms of our Leeds office, that's where I'm based, we look after a number of these sites in the north of England. So essentially our role is to regularly calibrate these instruments just to make sure that they're performing as well as they can, so that the data that they're outputting to people is as accurate as it can be. Next slide, please. So you may have seen a couple of these out and about. So these are just a couple of the sites that I was talking about on the previous slide. So we've got one on the left there, which is in Hartlepool, I believe, and the one on the right is in Hull. So the one on the right is much bigger. As you'll see, there's a ladder there. So we measure particulates, which are the tiny bits of solids, basically. So there's a filter on top of that monitor that we have to change every now and again, but that's the only difference between those two. So we have quite a lot of these different sites in different environments just to track the air quality across the UK. And just to say, really, it's quite nice to be at the forefront of air quality and tackling air quality, because I'm sure you'll have seen it on the news and what have you. You know, it's really important that we tackle it and monitor it. So being at a company like AECOM, where we do this every day pretty much, is a really good thing to do, I believe. So yeah. Next slide. Yeah, thank you. So just to finish off another aspect of work that we do in the air quality team is looking at roads. So essentially, whenever a road is changed, so whether that's being built, closed or improved, we have to do an assessment basically to see what impact that's going to have on the air quality. So for that, we need things like traffic data, and we use that data to build models to then establish what those air quality impacts are going to be and where they're going to be and how they could possibly be alleviated or reduced. So this is just an example on the bottom there. This was just a project that we worked on the A428, basically trying to improve journeys between these 3 towns and cities. So we did different assessments based on A, what's the air quality going to be like when they're constructing it, B, what's the impact going to be as it's running, and then C, just a general overview of local air quality and greenhouse gases, because as again, you've probably seen on the news that climate change is a big thing. So as well as local air quality, it's important that we also look at the impacts on the greenhouse gases, so things like carbon dioxide and methane, for example. Next slide, please. So yeah, thank you for listening. So just to round up, from both Amy and I's experiences, AECOM's been a very good company to work for. We've gained a lot already, a lot of experience, a lot of skills, both on the job and through the graduate development programme. So one thing to highlight with AECOM is that it's got a very much rolling employment. So there's no sort of set closing dates and opening dates for jobs, so just keep an eye out for opportunities. And one thing to highlight really, I guess, just in general, when you're looking for jobs and apprenticeships, is just keep persevering, you know, and like Amy said before, if opportunities do come up for things like summer placements, grab them with both hands, because you never know where that's going to take you. That's it. Thank you very much.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, both. So I'm going to ask you, I've got a couple of minutes, probably about 2 minutes, that we can have a quick Q&A, if that's okay. So one of the questions that I would like to ask you is if there are young people that are on the call at the minute that are interested in starting an apprenticeship with yourselves, what is the kind of the general level of apprenticeships? You know, what level does it start at? Do they need to go to college or university to start off with, or is it from school leavers, or is there a mix? Just what are the levels? Can you explain those to the young people, please?
You go, Amy. Yeah. So from what I can see from that slide that we had up about the apprenticeship programme, I think from what I know, I think it can be from when you leave school. I would say, yeah, definitely check out the details on our website and the brochures as well. Just from in terms of, yeah, receiving a salary there, it says, yeah, if you're level 3 apprentices and then going up to level 6 apprentices. But I think it's from when you leave school. But yeah, definitely please double check that for me. But yeah, I think it is on the website, or yeah, check the brochure as well.
Great. So it sounds like there's a bit of a mix, really. So if you if people wanted to have a look at, there's some opportunities for school leavers, but there's also more there as well. If you wanted to go to something like college or university, there's also options there. Fabulous. Thank you. And in terms of school subjects, what subjects would you kind of recommend for young people that would like to get into the air quality kind of industry? What subject would you recommend that they take in terms of options or further on in college?
Okay, so in terms of air quality, I mean, obviously it'll vary from school to school to some extent, but I would say geography, as there's quite a lot of our geographical sciences, as that they cover quite a lot of things that will overlap. I would say sciences are always good, but don't worry if you don't have a strong maths background. I don't have a strong maths background. So I would say really focus on things like your geography and your sciences, chemistry in particular, because there's a lot of the aspects of air quality has to do with the chemical composition of the air, for example. So if you've got a bit of knowledge of that, that's always good. And a lot of modules nowadays do have some sort of a air quality aspect in there. And I think as it's becoming more and more prevalent in the news as well, I think that's becoming more prevalent in curriculums and things as well. So yeah, sciences and geography, I would say, would be the main focuses I would recommend.
Great, thank you. And we are just coming up to Q2, so I think we'll leave it there. So I was going to say, first of all, thank you so much to both of the Amy's for taking the time today to come and speak to you all. That was really, really interesting. I learnt loads specifically about air quality and the amazing opportunities that there are within the industry for everyone really to get involved with, especially if you are interested in things like climate change. So thank you for joining us today, and we hope that you found that session useful. You can keep up to date with all things Meet Your Future at GMACS, which is gmacs.co.uk, and the link is coming up on the screen in a second, and you can always pop it in the Q&A if there's anything that comes up between now and a couple of minutes time. If you have got a burning question, please do just pop it in the Q&A. We can always pick it up later. And then GMACS is your Greater Manchester Apprenticeship and Careers Service platform, where you can find out lots more about careers, apprenticeships and opportunities open to you. Many of you will already be using this, so please ask your teachers to find out more. And you'll see a QR code for feedback on the screen, so we'd love it if you give us some feedback on the session if you're allowed to scan the QR code on your phone in your class. If you cannot do this now, as we know you're not allowed phones in school, please don't worry, because we'll be sending out a feedback form to your teachers for you to complete next week. There will also be one for your teachers to complete too. It's really important to get your feedback, then we know if Meet Your Future sessions are helpful and how we can improve them for the future. And then thank you again for joining us, and I hope you have a fantastic morning.